Well, good morning. It's Bobby Lee.
And Willis.
From Hurricane Creek Farms. Normally I don't start filming until we get down to the barn, but you may be able to see right over there on the opposite ridge. That is cow number 536, the Brindle Brayford cow. In the process of calving. I can see feet. I'll keep a close eye on her, obviously, but we're gonna go be feeding everybody else, and I would have just about bet you that by the time we get done, we've got a new member of the herd over there. Hey, can you get all the buckets and be filling them up with feed? There you go. All right, Smokey. There you go. She is fed. Yeah, we're looking at rain gauge, see how much it rained yesterday, but rained pretty hard. My dad sent me a picture. One of his dogs was hiding in their cabinets. Like he said, he opened up a cabinet at the house to get something out, and his little dog is scared of thunder, like a lot of dogs. He dove under there and he wouldn't come out. So, I mean, feel bad for the dog, but it was kind of a funny picture. Oh, there you go. That's flowing pretty good right now. Yeah, it's lodging up in there. Don't know if you'll be able to tell, but she's already had the calf. She was well on her way by the time we walked out of the door. We'll go get a check on them. See Archie walking across there. You may not want to get much closer than that. She is a very protective mother. Think the bulls are hungry? All right, let's go feed the steers now. Let's see how much rain we got yesterday. Looks like, what about, right at 8/10. So. And I should not leave out the horses. They did get fed and put in their stalls as well. There's the newest calf. Looks like a nice little bull calf. This may be as much as I film of it. I don't think Mom's gonna allow us to put a tag in its ear. May make a slight attempt. You notice Willis is gone. My mother actually picked him up. They're going to Sunday school and church together. I know, shame on me for not going, but I'm gonna take advantage of her having him for a couple hours, get some things done. The girls, if you didn't watch the last video, the girls are out of town for the weekend, so it's just me and Willis. So yes, gonna go try to take care of some stuff that I otherwise maybe wouldn't have gotten done. All right, cow. Hey, mama. Yeah, she'll bluff, charge you when she doesn't have a calf. I don't know if that was a lot of bluff there, so we'll live to tag another day. So we got this crew checked and fed. Pretty short work of one roll of hay we brought yesterday. It's probably 3/4 the way gone. Hadn't worked on the other one too much. We're gonna check these fences and also give us a chance to see how the grass looks on the rest of this place. Okay, just walking and checking these fences. Probably the biggest challenge, or one of the biggest challenges, I don't say the biggest one, but on this farm, like probably 80% of our fences are in timber like this, and so endless opportunities for entire trees to fall, or even just big limbs to fall and break a few wires. So you can see where through here, that's almost all new wire there, but in a lot of spots we had these old wires, and we came back a couple of winters ago and ran 3 strands of new wire just to strengthen it. Also makes it much more visible, you know, to animals. We kind of had plans to get around this entire farm with you know, doing that same thing, and yeah, we're still in the process working on that. So no, buddy, here's a bright spot on an otherwise cloudy, dreary day. Look at this grass. Fescue, the clover are really starting to pop out here. We actually had our cow herd in here. You look at that clover coming on. A lot of white clover, a little bit of red up here on these ridges. A lot of crimson over here on these hillsides. Yeah, we had our cow herd down here until first of the year. I mean, they were still in these pastures. And so, you know, these pastures look fantastic. They've really come back. We're not just totally ready for calves in here yet, but getting very, very close. Yeah. The hillsides in this pasture and then that next one over there are almost just a solid carpet of that crimson. So really like that. I probably prefer, you know, the red or the white clover over the crimson. I think it's a little more palatable. You know, that red just kind of, or excuse me, crimson just kind of does its thing in the spring and then it's gone. But building that soil, putting a little nitrogen in the ground, and then they will eat it. But back to the task at hand. Let's check these fences. Okay, so another little side job. We're gonna look at this real quick before, then we'll get back to the fences. But yeah, of course you can see where we'd had all this dirt work. We stop gate. No big deal. And sowed a bunch of I think it was oats, and we did put down some of our perennial mix, the fescue and orchard grass clover. Oh, that looks really nice. Kind of held that ground. And our culvert looks like it has done its job, which obviously one of the big things was a much bigger culvert than what was in there. And so it's been able to handle these big rains. I don't know if you remember, a lot of the water coming down through there was washing over through here and was really about to wash that out. Long term, you know, we'll still yet to be seen there, but so far it looks like they did exactly what they needed to do. And it is doing what it needs to do. So good deal there. I'd become just a little worried about it with some of those enormous rains we've gotten over the last couple of weeks, but good to go. We're not going to get into that pasture and checking those fences today. Just I'm going to run out of time. But that'll leave us with just one pasture unchecked if we're able to get over everything else today. Yeah, look at all that clover. But you can also see down through here all this debris. A lot of water came down through here. A ditch is over there. Looks like this entire little bottom was underwater. So made it around about a third of the fences we're going to get around today, or at least I plan to. I have not found a single problem yet. So yeah, I kind of hold my breath. I feel like we're going to find a major problem now, or just we won't get that lucky to not have anything. But yeah, grass is looking good. Just got a phone with my brother. I think he may go ahead and buy some calves this week, tomorrow even. So his place is even better, more ready for grazing, because when we sold all our calves back last August, he's had nothing on his pasture since then. Of course, we moved our cow herd down here just a couple of weeks after we sold those calves, so I had something grazing until, again, about the first of the year. Some of these pastures, we got them off a little earlier than that, but yeah, it's getting to be that time of year. Winter's not completely over. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow night, we're gonna have a freeze. It looks like we can get down right around 30. May have 2 or 3 nights in a row of more freeze, which of course that won't you know, be too big of a deal on the fescue and the clover and those cool season grasses. But yeah, not quite spring yet. And I couldn't help myself. I had to at least ride over here into this pasture and take a look. And yeah, this pasture could support cattle right now. In fact, like I'd mentioned maybe in yesterday's video, we probably going to move those calves up there on the other end of this farm, those 30 weaned calves. By middle of the week, we'll probably move them down here to this end. Yeah, especially, you know, no more than that is, no bigger than those calves are. This will support them. That'll get them out of the way when we bring in those heifers, if we ever get to that. And yeah, like I said, we'll let them clean up the rest of that hay. It'll probably take them, it'll probably be about Wednesday, which would be good. That'll be my next day off, and go ahead and start moving them this way. But yeah, I couldn't help myself. This is some of the best ground on the farm. Some of the best grazing right here on this ridge top. And then of course you can see our bunks over there, over on that next ridge and all. It's the biggest pasture as well. But we grazed the cows in here till maybe the 1st of December, and then moved them to the next pasture and then to the next one as we were getting them closer to our catch pens to haul them out of here. So it's got that advantage too. It's been just a little longer since anything has grazed in here. But yeah, today doesn't necessarily feel like spring, but this grass makes it look like spring. Of course, water gaps are always a big concern after a big rain. And actually this one, kind of this setup, which is not textbook. I always say it's not gonna win any ag engineering awards, but held up pretty well. Catching some debris. Get that log down. There we go. Stuff can come on through, but yeah, the idea with this was, of course, had something on there to make it float up. Would be better, but can at least get up and out of the way. Just suspended on that cable. Held up better than I was afraid it may have. So our first spot, which is not a devastating one, top fell out. Heck, I don't even know. Must have been out of one of these trees. And I don't know that it even broke the wires, but calf could get out there. We'll get the chainsaw over here. Thankfully, we're right here at the side-by-side. That's somewhere where we're gonna walk a long ways to it. Modified this post a little. That ain't even close to beautiful. They're not gonna walk out there now. Here's the reality. I mean, we're off in the woods in just a random spot. Shouldn't be a place where they're really tempted to get out. Thankfully, we're not right along the state highway, so you always hate to say something's good enough, but that's kind of what the consensus is here. It's good enough. Yeah, it's going to hold them until something else falls on it, which in reality, if something else falls on it, it wouldn't be any good anyway. Here's an example of why, even though I'm fully in favor of timbering your property, heck, there's probably a day when we'll timber this place, probably should be done. But one, it just makes a mess and it's kind of an eyesore. But two, these timber crews, and of course there's good ones, there's bad ones. And the crew that worked this place, I have no idea who they are. They really didn't tear up my fences, but maybe in one spot, and it wasn't even too bad. And I'm not even sure that it happened right when they were cutting the timber, but some stuff that fell down later. But right here, you can see where the fence was nailed to this tree. It's like, all right, I don't know exactly where the property line is because I'm not a surveyor, but I mean, the fence is essentially the property line right here. In spots, it gets off the line, a little bit one way or the other, but I don't think so right here. Two, you can see these old posts with no fence on them. That may actually be the property line, meaning I actually own just a few feet over that way. So, I mean, I don't care about the tree, like whatever. It's one tree, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit common to do that. Like, come on guys, I mean, even if that tree was clearly on that property, I don't know what a single tree is worth, but my fence was even nailed to it. Like, I mean, if I was 20 feet off the property line, maybe, but I don't know. I think there's an argument for that tree might have even been on my property. And I have no desire to take any kind of legal action or anything, but it's just like, come on. Like, why? Like one tree? I don't know how many acres of timber they cut, but hauled numerous truckloads of timber out of there. That one tree make or break the operation. And then, yeah, it may not have even been on that property to begin with, so whatever. Well, yeah, I don't know. I've always had a negative opinion of timbering a place, especially that you got in pasture, because they just make just such a mess. The fences, a property that my dad and uncle had cows on for my entire life up until about, time flies by, maybe about 12 years ago now. I mean, this is a cattle farm. That's what it was. They leased it though. The family that owned it and had it timbered, which again, fine. But that timber crew absolutely just destroyed the fences in places. And of course it was in the contract, you know, any fence they tore up, they had fixed. It was an absolute joke what they did with those fences. Essentially put us out of the cattle business on that farm. There was gonna be so much fencing that needed to be done. They were already kind of downsizing their cattle herd anyway. And so we essentially moved all the cows off that place. And they do still farm it, but now they taking all the relatively flat ground on the place and row crop it. But I guess, yeah, just pushing. I do have a little bit of bias when it comes to those sorts of things. Probably mainly stemming back to that one example. But anyway, that's my rant for the video. I get one little rant per video, right? So, okay, moving on. So here's a bit of a problem, and had a similar issue on a cross fence back there, which I didn't even film it because I wasn't even interested in fixing it because it was just a cross fence. But obviously this fence right here is just maybe 2.5 years old, and so all this rain, it's slowly eating back. Yeah, you can see where it's eroded back from there not too long ago. So I mean, how do it, because an animal could easily step off down in there and then walk out the ditch. I don't know what we're gonna end up doing here. I really don't. We're not gonna fix it today. I'm pretty certain of that. But yeah, it's just another one of those annoying spots where there's not gonna be an easy way to fix it. So yeah, we'll revisit this later. All right, we're back up here with these babies, and that was not too bad at all. If you told me beforehand that's all we were gonna find with the fence, I would have taken that in a heartbeat. So I'm gonna head back to the house. It is just about lunchtime now. You able to carry it? All right. I think this may actually be the first time we've ever shown Smokey's evening meals on here. We always show morning stuff. But yeah, proud to say it is 6:34 p.m. Sun is still well above the horizon. Happy daylight savings time. I do sort of prefer this time, even though it doesn't matter a great deal. It's just nice to get home in the evening and still have lots of daylight. The flip side of that is we will be doing morning chores well before daylight once again. It had gotten to where the last, I don't know, few weeks, we're starting to get some daylight as we did our chores, but that won't be the case for a few weeks. And then, of course, eventually the days get long enough, we have daylight in the morning and in the evening. So anyway, we adapt. It doesn't matter to us too much one way or the other. We're gonna get the evening chores done right out there and check on the newest calf again. Again, doubtful we would get a tag in its ear, but get one more good look at it. Okay, so those boys are fed. Probably appreciate we have roof problems. It's not just roof. I mean, the barn is just about rotted. Oh, the 3 boys right there. I think we've just about used up, or the barn has lived out about all of its use, at least that back part. And then once, yeah. So I don't know, our goal of, you know, the next few years having a covered facility out here to cover up all of this, and then also have concrete that we'll then have our bunks and our feeding area. Much of my wife doesn't want to hear it. We probably need to move the timeline up on that to well, sometime in 23, so that by the time we get to this fall, we're feeding our next bunch. Because yeah, I don't know that without us putting some money and all into that we're gonna be able to make it work for another year, which we could probably fix that up a little bit makeshift for cheaper than we can build an entirely new facility. But if we're gonna need an entirely new one eventually anyway, I'd almost rather just save that money of just slapping a band-aid on that big problem and put that on that design. But we'll see. I don't need to end up divorced either. Little gate getter in action. You can swing it either way for the Pioneer. There's a good shot of 1, 2, and then our 3 newest calves. We're gonna ride over there and make an attempt. What I'm I'm gonna call a drive-by tagging attempt. No, Cal, don't do that. All right, so we're gonna leave this undone. Here, hold that. Cal, we have not left your baby. Wow, we made her mad. She's more interested in running us off and beating us up than she is.
There's a cow over there.
Mama, your baby. It'd be really nice if we had if we'd had somebody else out here. They could have tagged the calf. Good grief. Okay. Well, she has sufficiently run us off. Now she has no idea where her calf is. If I was really feeling like pressing the issue, because her calf is way over there in the woods now, and she has no idea. All right. I'm feeling a little bit stupid. We're gonna ride over and see if we can get this done.
Daddy, run back up.
Woo! A little bit of an adrenaline rush. We are getting out of here. Calf is tagged. She is right there. Yeah. Not at all textbook, not how I intended to do that. But, sorry, we didn't hurt him. Okay. Well. All right, well, it's probably a good place to end this video. What do we say at the end?
And God bless.
That's right. Woo. See y'all next time.